What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here with the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 13, Episode 6, titled The Giving Peach. All right, you guys, without further ado, let's get into this episode. The one thing that I want to say before we get into this episode, I'm so confused about this season. How many episodes are there? Because they're showing what's coming up for the next few weeks with the first cast trip. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, it's like, damn. One, how many episodes are in this season? Two, was there not a lot of drama this season? Because I think the highlight of this, wow. Because that's going to lead us into Stripper Gate. Wow. All right, let's talk about it. All right, you guys, let's first start up with Drew and Ralph. It really wasn't much with Drew and Ralph in this episode. I don't even know if I can make this a whole minute long. I can't. I can't even take up space with them. So you guys know that Drew and Ralph, they are moving out of their house into a new house. But in this scene, I was confused because if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard Ralph, because they were talking about moving when they were talking about the kids upstairs making the noises and breaking, jumping on the beds and then moving. And he was like, it's not a done deal. I'm like, wait a minute. So if it's not a done deal, why are y'all packing? It's like my grandmother used to tell me about working. Never quit one job until you know for sure the other one is a legit job that you're going to get. Same can be said with them with this house. Don't up and move out of this house until you know that the other house is for sure yours, because then you'll be trying to figure out where to live when your lease comes up. So, yeah. So they also did release some balloons in honor of Ralph's father. Thought that was pretty, sweet. Yeah, that's basically it for Drew. Like I said, you guys, it just wasn't much in this episode that Drew gave me. The question that I do have is, how far in the filming process were they before they solidified that Drew would be an official housewife? Because it kind of feels like what happened, it kind of feels like Mary on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Because Mary was a friend of the Housewives at first, but then they switched to production company and she became a full-time housewife. So it just has a lot of questions in my head, because if you guys notice, LaToya is in so many scenes, but we haven't saw Drew in a group scene yet. That's interesting. But let's move on. All right, guys, let's talk next about Candy. I guess we'll talk about Candy. Yeah, let's talk about Candy. So in this episode, we first saw Candy. She was at home and, she had her setup. You guys know Candy has her YouTube channel. I blame Candy for this, because now all the reality stars, like from Bravo, have their own YouTube channels. I know Tammy had already had hers for her Bonnet Chronicles and stuff, but now you got Candy with her YouTube channel, Nene with her YouTube channel, Monique Samuels for Potomac with her YouTube channel. And I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying, wow, it's, Karen Huger is coming out with a YouTube channel. Mariah Huck had hers. Heavenly has hers. Who the fuck else has a YouTube channel from reality TV? You guys can let me know in the comment section. I'm not subscribed to any of them, but I think the only person that I'm subscribed to is Candy's. We have thought to speak on it. She actually just posted her speak on it with Don Juanita. Not watching that. So while they're sitting there talking, filming, she was talking about the fact that she's having, she has her Candy Cares organization that's, geared toward helping single mothers. And with this one, they're going to do a food drive, which I think is a good thing. Like, actually, and where I live at, they do a food drive, a pantry drive, right around the corner from my apartment. And that line is on Fridays, and that line is always wrapped around the building, because when on Fridays in the morning. If I go to Chick-fil-A, I run into that long ass line. And I give kudos to Candy for what she's doing. There are people that are less fortunate than she is, and she has the means and the money and the resources and the platform to be able to help. So I'm all here for it. So then she calls Mike Sterling, Eva's husband, up, and they're talking about this child support thing with Block. I hope we don't talk about this the whole season. I really do. Because I'm not gonna sit here and knock Candy for wanting to get the child support. I'm not gonna knock her for that. People are probably gonna say she has money. Why don't she? She has the money. But Candy didn't lay down with herself and have Riley. Block was a willing participant, and he should take care of his kid. So I'm not gonna sit here and knock Candy in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So we see all the ladies. They show up. For the Candy Cares. First was Tanya, and Porsha was on time, and then following Porsha was Kenya. And Kenya was like, she's on time for her photo op. I'm like, Kenya, just let it go, please. Let it go. So, they talked about the fact that Cynthia would be late because Cynthia and Mike were picking up their marriage license. We saw that. And, Porsha was talking to Tanya about the fact that, she met up with Cynthia, and Cynthia was telling her that, Mike wanted to invite Dennis to the wedding, basically regardless of how she felt. And, Kenya was like, can we talk less? Can we talk and work at the same time? I'm like, oh God, Kenya, just let it go, please. Please let it go. If Candy's not, it's Candy's thing. If she's not bothered by them talking, why are you? That was my whole dilemma. If Candy's not bothered by it, why are you bothered? But it is what it is. Candy also said that, Todd and Mike had talked to each other about, Dennis as well. And, Dennis was okay with is okay about Porsha coming to the wedding as long as she doesn't have a date. I don't know how he can dictate that, but okay. Now, Kenya did say something that I agreed with in this scene about Porsha and Dennis. We all know weddings are happy, joyous occasions. And I think Porsha is just on the tip of, she doesn't know where she is with, she knows where she is with Dennis, supposedly. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And, she is, like I said, weddings, happy, joyous occasions. And, you don't want to get in the mood and then go home with, old Coach Dennis and bump uglies with Coach Dennis. So I agree with what Kenya was saying. Let's move on. Ouch. All right, you guys. So I was talking too fast, and I realized that I left out a scene. So the ladies sat down for lunch, and they were talking. Drew FaceTimed Cynthia. She talked. She spoke to all the ladies. I guess she's moving. Wait a minute. Is she moving in Porsha and Nene's neighborhood? Because Porsha was like, I can give you some sugar and some soda, and now I don't know why Kenya had to be so shady towards Drew, calling her a stray. That part I did not understand. Why are you calling this woman a stray when you've only been around her at this point? Oh, Drew has been in some group events. I was just about to say, Drew has been around a group. Well, she hasn't been around all the ladies, so she hasn't been around everybody. But I just didn't understand why Kenya called her a stray. We could also call LaToya a stray that you've taken in, but nobody calls her a stray. So Kenya tells the ladies that, she and LaToya want them to do, a getaway. They got to figure out somewhere to go. I know that they said either South Carolina or North Carolina. I don't know where they went. You guys can tell me in the comment section if you know where they went, and we'll discuss it further. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about Porsha. You know what? This just feels like a filler episode. Actually, every episode so far has felt like fillers. They haven't been much. But this episode, so Porsha and Cynthia, they went out to dinner with each other. And, they talk about, Mike wanting to invite Dennis to the wedding. And Cynthia asked Porsha, so what is going on between you and Dennis at this point? So Porsha tells her, like after the whole cheating situation with Dennis, she was able to move past it. I disagree with you, Porsha. If you and we'll talk about that in a minute why I disagree with her, but I disagree with Porsha. So she says after the cheating she felt insecure, and then also with quarantine and them being together and her gaining 20 pounds, I guess that added to the insecurity as well. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her gaining weight. I mean, she looks good. She looks good either way, skinny, big, however, Porsha looks good. But she also said to Cynthia that, with them being in quarantine together with each other, that she asked Dennis once to go down the stairs and get PJ a bottle, and it took him 20 minutes to get the bottle. So when he came back up, she went off on Dennis about that situation, and she also had PJ right beside her. So, with her doing all the social, the social justice stuff that she did, she saw, that there was unrest in the world. She didn't want to come home to that same, lack of peace, unrest, and all that stuff. So she had to make the decision to be done with Dennis. Now, back to why I said that I disagree with Porsha that she was able to get past the cheating. No, Porsha, I don't think you were able to get past the cheating. Because if you were able to get past the cheating, then it wouldn't be an issue. So when he went downstairs for 20 minutes, you'd be like, okay, he was downstairs for 20 minutes. You might be like, damn, what took so long? I mean, she's hungry, she's thirsty, whatever. I can see that part, but to go off on him, to scream at him, and that means that obviously you never were able to get past the cheating. You basically put a Band-Aid on the situation. You put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, and the bullet was still there. So the lack of trust, all of that stuff was still there. So you never 100% fully forgave Dennis or got over the cheating, and that's what I feel. Let's move on and wrap the episode up, you guys. All right, you guys, and then lastly, let's talk about Cynthia. So we see her and Mike, they're at Lake Bailey, and they're discussing the wedding. So we all know that Cynthia invited 250 people to the wedding, and a good chunk of those people were from out of state. Like we know that Giselle from Potomac was there, Karen was there, who else was there? It was somebody. There was so many people there, and a good chunk of them were reality stars. I thought I saw Princess from Love and Hip Hop there. I'm almost positive I saw Princess. But yeah, like a lot of the people were from out of town. So as of the 250 people that they invited, they have confirmed 160 people. And they also, like I said a few minutes ago, they talked about inviting Dennis. And, that's when Cynthia told Mike that, hey, let me just sit down with Porsha and see what the status of the relationship is between she and Dennis, and if she is cool with inviting Dennis. So then Mike is looking at the list, and he asks Cynthia, so why is your dad not confirmed? And, she says that there's a strain in her relationship with her father. She was talking about the fact that her father and her brother actually walked her down the aisle when she married Peter. But the strain in their relationship now is because you guys remember, I believe it was what season was that? Was it season 9 or season 10? I think it was season 10. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It said 3 years ago, so was it 3 years ago from when they filmed that? So that would be 2020, 19, 18, 17. So yeah, it was season 10, I believe, when Cynthia's mother did the PSA that Kenya did for domestic abuse. Yes, because this was after her situation with Matt. This was after Matt. And I think Kenya was still with Matt season 9. So yeah, I think this was season 10. Again, correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but I know this was about Matt. So, they're talking about her dad. So Mike asked Cynthia, what do you want, Cynthia? This is your day. What is it that you want? And Cynthia's like, I want my dad there. He said, well, there it is. So then we later see Cynthia in the episode and she's talking to Noelle. We all know Noelle lives in LA. And we also know now that Noelle is, she has her own apartment and she is a social media influencer. You know, she does beauty products and I actually just went to her Instagram. She does beauty products and she does, you know, I know I saw her in a lot of bathing suits. So kudos to Noelle. Beautiful young lady. So then we see, you know, she was talking to Noelle about coming to Atlanta. So Noelle's going to come down there and she's going to stay with Cynthia for about 2 weeks. So we see Noelle and Cynthia, they're getting ready to head out. And they're going to see Cynthia's mother to discuss, her inviting her dad to the wedding. So they get over to the house. Mal is there. You know, Cynthia was talking to Mal because Mal had ate, you know, her mom made some sweet potatoes and some pork chops and Mal had ate the shit. So they sit down and, you know, Cynthia tells her mom that she wants to invite her dad to the wedding. And, you know, her mom tells her, you know, she's up, you know, she doesn't want him. She doesn't really want him there. And then Cynthia's talking about the relationship that she has with her dad now that is strained because of the PSA. And, you know, Cynthia's mom is like, okay, well, I'm upset with you about the post that you made, you know, thanking him for having you. He didn't have you. I had you. And, you know, I'm not going to the logistics of what the post said. So then Mal's like, well, you know, I have a good relationship with him as well. I have a good relationship with him. It's not like my relationship is with you, but I do have a relationship with him. So, you know, and then Cynthia's mom tells her that she was upset with Cynthia about the PSA, doing the PSA. So I'm assuming that her mother didn't know what PSA stood for. And, you know, since she's a woman of a certain age, I probably can't understand that she didn't know what it meant. So I understood that. And, you know, when Cynthia's probably, because I'm pretty sure Cynthia probably just said PSA, Cynthia probably should have went in deep detail about what the PSA was. So that way her mom didn't feel blindsided. But Cynthia does apologize to her mother, and, you know, her mom is going to go along with whatever Cynthia wants in regards to inviting her father to the wedding. But Noelle chimed in and said, you see her, she's going to keep the peace. Like, she's not going to tell you not to invite him. She's going to do it because it'll make you happy. But maybe you should stop and think about how she's feeling and the fact that she doesn't want him there. And there's your answer. And I'm like, wow, listen to Noelle with the advice. I mean, that's got to be a sticky situation for Cynthia to be in. You know, you don't want your mother to, you know, be in an uncomfortable position, but you also want this is a big day in your life, and you would like for your father to be there. So, got to be a tricky situation for Cynthia all the way around. But you guys, that is going to wrap it up for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Also, you guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Share this video, and also you guys go down and get into the description bar. Go subscribe to my planner channel. I know I said a video will be up yesterday. The video is coming. I'm gonna sit down on Monday, record the video, and upload it. It'll be there Monday, hopefully. Don't hold me to it. But yeah, so that's it. Also, you guys, take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask, and socially distance. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.